So what are you up to? Everything good?
Oh yeah, everything's good. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
good.
just watching this comedy routine we call an election process.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know. We're
it,
kind
it,
of,
it kind of reminds me of my metaphor is it's like the kid that got kicked out of the treehouse, and on the way down stole the bottom step so nobody else could go up, but he neglected to remember that they made a rope ladder.
yeah.
You could go with that.
Oh, so I'm gonna turn this down. Okay, you're still with me, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I've used your joke about the grandmas on the roof.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Cool.
that's a great joke, man.
Yeah, that's an old one.
Yeah, it can't offend anybody.
No, except your cat.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Where am I? Where am I? Oh, there you are. Okay, good.
Hey,
I'm back. Okay. So that's set up, I hope and think. Gonna get you started here. Record, Zoom. Okay, cool. We have about a minute. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, we on live? Good. I think we're there almost. My channel and live, and there we are. Cool. Facebook. Yeah, so you could actually watch us on Facebook if you'd like. The whole problem is it's a couple of seconds behind, like 30 seconds or so. So
well, that's okay. We get to catch up.
yeah, you'll go. Oh shit, we're live, huh? Okay, we're going live in about 30 seconds. You could hear me okay, right?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. Okay. Might as well do it. Earn our money, right?
What's that?
Gonna start earning our money. We're going live.
Okay. You got it, man.
Let me go. Okay.
And you said no prep, but that's impossible for me. So
One. Good morning, New Mexico. We're back. If you want us or not, we're back. This is Not Your Mother's Radio. I'm here with David Wiley. Mauro Waldman Montoya will be phoning in shortly too. But right now it's just me and David. I just want to say good morning to everybody. Welcome to Not Your Mother's Radio, November 14th, 2020. And we're still in this madness that we call the United States of America. And we're not going to let that bug us today, though. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some, we'll do some fooling around and have a great Saturday. Also, you may like to know what's going on here. Tomorrow night, I'll be on the line with Phil Jones, who's noted for great drumming work with guys like Tom Petty, Joe Walsh. I don't know, the list goes on and on and on. Phil's going to be doing some DJ work with me tomorrow night. That starts at 10 o'clock Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific. And if you're in New Mexico, that's 8 o'clock for us guys. And some really, really cool stuff coming up. The Bill Laswell show is going to be starting soon. The great producer Bill Laswell has agreed to do a bi-weekly show with me every other week. That'll be on Monday nights. And also Ed Mann from the Frank Zappa group will be doing a bi-weekly. So we're getting more and more technical here, more and more music, more and more cool stuff going on. But right now I'm going to bring David into this picture, and again, enjoy the show. And if anybody wants to contact us, just hit us up on Facebook and underneath the comments section, and I'll get back to whoever we can. And here we go. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Okay, and that's the great David Wiley. David, keep talking. I want to make sure your settings are good. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay, I think we're good with David. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And so what I'd like to do is, well, anyway, Dave, what's going on now that the elections are over? Now that things are almost back to normal, right?
Well, kind of, yeah. We're like in the sleepy mode.
Yeah.
You know, we're coming up. Our group, the Square Footers, are posting all their little stuff is just like empty boxes, and at least we're connecting, and that's really good. Yeah. Yeah, Seed to Harvest is usually in winter. It's a lot of we kind of hang out with ourselves anyway, so that's a good thing. Yeah.
So what do you think is going to be happening with the new president? Do you think everything's going to be sliding in easily?
I think that it really doesn't matter because they're already doing their thing, and that's why we elected him.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is they're ready to go, and I think they've got a good team. None of them are family, none of them are cousins. You know, it's basically back to more normality, and I think that actually he's going to do a great job.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be okay. Guys, if you hear any noise out there, it's me. We'll have some, and I'm trying to figure out a couple of things. Zoom is driving me nuts as usual, but but we shall overcome. We'll make it happen. Bum, 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 bum. I need somebody, I need a tech guy to call in. Maybe somebody could help me with all this fun stuff. I'm getting a little too old and grumpy to mess around with it.
Well, my problem, Elliot, is that when it asks you to push a button, I'm hesitant to push the button because, sometimes I lose everything and I don't know where the heck it went.
Yeah.
That's for the people that are in the tech world, and especially younger people, they have no qualms. They just keep right on going.
I know. They're not afraid of anything. My 8-year-old grandson takes my phone. He just, he could make do things that I never even knew it could do. And so that's the beauty of youth, right? Not afraid of anything.
Well, yeah, and or of personal faith. I'm not afraid of anything. I just have a lot of experience.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I'd like to bring up is that this election is really showing me more and more that our elder population is kind of left behind on a lot of issues. Just because somebody asks you to speak slower and pronounce your words does not mean that they're stupid. It usually means that you're speaking a little too fast and you're running ahead of the conversation.
Right.
So that's just one avenue. Also, we tend to house our older people and put labels on them, a nursing home level of care and all that. And unless you fit that category, you're kind of left in the drifting out in space. And we're an independent lot. We're used to solving problems, and I think now, older president that is going to,
Yeah, but also it just seems that the last administration really was trying to eliminate the older people. What happened, with the let's cut Medicare, let's cut Social Security, let's cut this, let's cut that, let's do the herd mentality, and only the the strong will survive, that kind of thing. And
Yeah,
the only people that really were going to get demolished on that were the seniors. And I'm not a kid, but I see, every year that there's more and more elderly people. At one time, my age would have been considered old. I'm going to be 65 on Monday.
oh, nice, happy
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah, thanks. So, yeah, if anybody wants to send gifts, I'll send you my address. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
send money.
I don't care what you send. Send cards, send letters, send. I don't care. It just anyway. 65 used to be considered you're a has been, but now 65 is like 40 was 2 decades ago.
That's
You know,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So because more and more people are in their 90s, breaking that 100 mark and things. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So 65, um, you should still be out there. You know, back when I was a kid, my grandfather, when he was 65, I considered him an old man. And now 65 is, just another number. So yeah, but I think the last administration was trying to just get rid of that entire, 65, 70, 80, 90, 100. Let's get rid of these people. We don't have to worry about them anymore. We don't have to worry about Social Security or Medicare or whatever.
right.
And you know, let's face it. They say that they're giving you Social Security and Medicare, and they make it sound like they're doing you a favor, but you paid into this your whole life.
Pay into it. That's exactly right. Everybody pays, and that's
Yeah,
the whole idea is that anybody who works pays into Medicare
yeah,
unless they cut that off,
right.
which is what they tried to do with that payroll tax
Yes,
thing. And most employers, large employers, just keep the money because
right.
they know that it's going to come around. They're going to have to pay it anyway.
Sure.
And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but when you have that small amount taken out of your check automatically,
Hmm.
employer matches it and
Right.
sends it into the treasury. So you're doubling basically your investment. And
Right.
when you've done that for 25 or 30 years,
Yep.
that's a pretty big fund.
Yep.
And I think that it's really missed that we don't, it's not like limited income. You could still make a little money here and there. But the
Right.
thing is that it's frozen income and
Right.
it depends on the the upper echelons, the government itself. And it's a huge fund. Elliot, I'm going to say one thing. When I was in my 50s and I used to file income tax with an accountant,
Right.
he would always tell me that, that Social Security is going to go bust by, at that time, it was by, 1996 or
Right.
by
Right. Right.
2012 or, well, every time they say that, it's a falsehood
Sure.
uh, because it's a very solid program and
Right.
it's been a long time.
And a lot of those tax guys do it because they want you to start investing in their finance programs.
Yeah,
So they can, so that they can feed off of the, they can get their beak wet, so to speak, so they could
right,
take a piece of the action.
they can get their cut, and
Yeah.
that's capitalism right there.
Yeah.
And think about it. And if we would have hooked Social Security to the stock market, say, like the 401ks are, look
Right.
what would have happened in 2008. We
Yeah.
would have, I would have had no income.
Right.
It's
No.
really
Right.
quite, and what happens is it's that ripple effect. I would have lost
Yeah.
my house. I would have
Yep.
been dependent. I would have been on the street. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all it takes.
Yep. And they make you feel guilty about taking it, but that's your money. It's your money you're taking.
I don't feel guilty at all. Matter
No.
of fact, I'm very stable. I have a
Yeah.
budget, and what I can do with that small amount of money, if I look around, I see younger people who work and they've got new homes and new cars and go on vacations or whatever when they can. I think to myself, you know what? Their house payment is more than I make in a month.
Right.
And I'm just astounded that
Uh-huh.
they can do that. I mean, for one, and then I can take that small amount and spread it around and still maintain a pretty good lifestyle by
Yeah.
being calm and understanding and taking advantage of the benefits offered.
Right. Right. Right.
That's what we're all about, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And yeah, but I mean that's the money that we gave the government to kind of finance our grandparents and our parents' Social Security. It's like
That's
a
right.
it's a pay it forward deal. That's what it is.
It's a beautiful system,
Yeah,
really.
it is.
Pay it forward
Yep.
because the people that need it at that point are getting it, and when you
Yep.
get up at that point, then you have the ability to receive it.
Right.
And as long as they don't mess around with it, leave that fund alone. But any private guy, when they've got a large amount of cash basically sitting in a fund, they want to borrow against it
Right.
because our society operates on a debt. That's what it is. They call it
Hmm.
credit, but it's not
Right.
credit, debt. They want you to
Yeah.
be in debt and pay the fees, and that's how things operate. So
Well,
if you're
it's financial slavery. They keep you going to work every day. They keep you they keep you in that box. You have to pay it back, from the time you start college. You're building up debt, building up debt, building up debt, and you have to go out there and work and behave yourself and do what's right so that you could
do
pay back your debt.
and you do that, and then they cut you off at the knees. I
Yeah.
mean, seriously, because capitalism is not about people; it's about balance sheets,
Yes.
and we need to keep that in mind all the time. I have an example, Elliot, which is really interesting to me, and politically, she's the opposite of what I believe. So I won't go any further than that.
Uh-huh.
Um, Very smart person,
Right.
paid her house off. Got that thing where she doesn't have a house payment because she paid the darn thing off. She got herself all set up. She makes pretty good money right now. So she's
Okay.
able to save money. She's able to keep things up. So what happened is she goes to get a credit card
Uh-huh.
and they won't give it to her because her credit score is low because she doesn't have any debt.
Right.
It just amazes me. She could
Yeah.
have 800 score. She
Yeah.
owns a different house, for heaven's
Yeah.
sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not considered.
No, it's
So
not.
no,
Also, another thing is a lot of people's credit scores are demolished by medical costs.
mm,
You know,
that's it. I listened I followed various people on the news cycle, and this one guy's mentioning in Alabama there is it's extreme poverty, and they have limited news sources. So they're really not stupid. They're not disconnected. They're very connected to their area,
right.
but yet they vote to the people that restrict it the most.
Right.
They these buzzwords that flow out there. People say, "Oh yeah, I don't want to be like Nicaragua or whatever." When they're worse, they're
Yeah.
considered. State of Alabama is like below
Right.
income level of those countries, and yet
Yeah.
they still vote in the same policies that keep them right there.
Hmm. Well, I used to run stadiums and amphitheaters and things, and I used to set up accounts for this huge corporation. And when I wasn't doing stadiums, I was working in healthcare,
Huh?
hospitals and things like that. I did a lot of hospital work, and I set up a hospital in Huntsville, Alabama.
Huh?
I was living in Albuquerque at the time, and my wife and kids were in my house that we just moved out here and stuff. And, I was at the Isleta Amphitheater, that was my home base. And during my off time, I would set up accounts in other parts of the country. So anyway, they sent me to Alabama, and I spent about 8 months there.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, I would come home every 2 weeks for, 4 or 5 days and then go back. I was living out of hotels and things. And I set up the Women and Children's Hospital of Huntsville, Alabama. Huge, huge complex.
Wow.
They had a monorail running through the buildings. That's how big it was. Monstrous.
Wow.
Yeah, I was, living like a half a mile away from the space camp. NASA has a space camp there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And, I was there, there was, I don't know how many years ago, about 10 years ago, maybe a little longer. Anyway, um, the people of Alabama were funny. It really was. It was a funny thing. Um, it was very, very, you kind of knew there was a race problem there,
Yeah.
you know, and, you were kind of, it was really, really prevalent that it stuck out like a sore thumb. And this wasn't that long ago. In fact, people would stop me and say to me, "Are you Christian?" And I used to tell them, "Well, you're not supposed to be asking that, especially at work,
You're not supposed to ask that. Right. Right. Right.
you're not, yeah, that's not something we talk about." But that was very, very important to them. And are you Christian? And it was really, really, I'm a New Yorker, and you don't see this in New York, but everybody would you go out to dinner, and I was alone, 90% of the time. I would sit down at a table, and everybody around me be holding hands and praying before they ate. And there was such a social difference than what I was accustomed to. It was kind of scary, at times.
It's also very beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's that beautiful. It was more. I found it more kind of like threatening than beautiful. Maybe maybe
It's
because you know.
not supposed to be exclusive, Elliot. That's the problem. It's supposed to be inclusive. So you should
Yeah.
have comfortable to walk over there and join hands and
Uh-huh.
pray along with them, and that's not in the mix. It's very exclusive on.
Yeah. I think Moro's with us. Let me see if
I am
he
here.
there he
Hey.
is.
Hi.
Okay, I hear you. Do I
Why
see
isn't my
you?
video going?
There you are. Okay, I see a picture. There's Moro with two gentlemen and two fine young ladies.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out why my video won't start.
That's okay.
Failed
Wait.
to start the video camera and sure other apps are not using the camera and try again.
Yeah.
Huh. And now it's frozen.
Pushing the
Okay.
button.
Well, I was talking to David. I told him I spent about 8 months in Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, well, wow. And I was telling that I was living there alone. Laura and my kids were in Albuquerque at the time. I was setting up an account, and I'd come home every couple of weeks for a couple of days. But I was telling him how kind of taken aback I was, like shocked when I first got there. I'd go out to dinner or something, and there'd be tables of people holding hands and praying in a big table circle. And I was telling David that kind of freaked me out there a bit.
I bet. That
Yeah,
would freak me out too.
yeah. So, but David said it's a beautiful thing that these people would be doing that in the middle of whatever. I just kind of thought it was yeah
But
it-
why I said that is that
yeah
in true Christian beliefs, it's supposed to be inclusive. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to look at people and have any desire, whatever, to tell
Right.
them how to act or to be who they are. You're supposed to include them in the prayer, not exclude them because of what you believe. And that's the beautiful part. And
yeah.
if
I
it's
don't know. I don't know if I would have been excluded. I don't know if I would have been excluded, but
well, you were. I mean, I could tell you that right now. You were because it's a private ceremony. It's kind of like that thing. There's a reason that we have a separation of church and state. And one of the
Right.
reasons is if you are a Jewish child or a Muslim child in a room and they have a prayer before class starts, you're not part of that.
right.
So you're excluded, therefore you're a second-class citizen. And that's why we separate it out.
Well, it's funny when I was a kid in New York, we used to do the Pledge of Allegiance every day.
Yeah,
One nation under God, and
I stopped
they-
saying it, by the way.
Yeah, I know, and it never bothered me back then. I don't know if that would bother me now. Maybe because you're used to that being, a minority. But that never bothered me. But as I got older, what did I don't know, for some reason that holding hands and praying thing, I just wasn't used to it. Because it's not separation of state and
No,
religion. You
very
know,
shocked. Like the very end is where I stop when it says liberty and justice for all.
yeah,
That's a non-belief, especially
yeah,
the last 4 years. That's a non-belief. And
right,
there is liberty and justice for all. If
right.
if we followed that advice, we'd be just fine.
Well, my grandsons are homeschooled now. Obviously, I think starting Monday, every kid is homeschooled again. Doing their lessons, over Zoom, whatever. And the other day, I walked past my youngest one. They have once a month they have a school meeting. It's like an assembly, and I walked by and they were doing the Pledge of Allegiance. And then there was actually a secondary thing to that where there was some kind of pledge to the state of New Mexico.
Huh? Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. There's Morrow.
Hang on just a second. I'm sorry. I'm
You have
trying
two.
to-
Yeah. That's because you have two things going on. One's
I know, I'm
going
trying to
right
leave
over.
the first one.
There he
Yeah.
is.
You see, yeah, well, handsome. He's wearing a tie and everything today.
So, yeah, I got a wedding in a little while.
Hey,
Uh,
hey there.
Hi.
yeah. So what's
Happy
going on?
weekend.
So we'll get back to this in a minute, David. But Morrow's here. I don't know how long he's going to be with us. We're shut down again on Monday, right?
Yep, we're shut down again on Monday.
Yeah, yeah. You want to hear a horror show? One of my grandson's sixth grade school friends shot himself the other day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How old was he? Like 12, 13?
11.
11?
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
horrible.
I think these kids are so shell shocked now that they can't. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. I could conject and
Wow.
come up with ideas, but there's so many crazy things these kids are going through now: bullying, social isolation. You don't know if the kids. You don't know anything. You just don't know what the heck's going
Yeah.
on.
We don't know what's
Um,
happening with them.
Yeah,
And a lot
yeah,
of times
but
we won't talk about it either.
yeah, and the whole thing is there never should have been a gun laying around for this kid to play with.
No,
That's exactly right.
You know?
there never should have been a gun there that he had easy access to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yep,
just
yep,
one
yep.
more tragedy of our gun culture that we have here.
Yeah, of our gun culture, of our COVID culture, of our whole social culture. It's just something has to be done. Somebody has to throw a little glitter, some kind of sprinkle something into this massive mess out there.
Well,
Right.
down to Georgia now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, what's happening in your end of the neck of the woods?
Let's see. So obviously we're really happy about the election last week. We're happy that more states were called for Biden.
Yeah.
Now we got to throw everything into Georgia because we need those 2 senators there, or else McTurtle will be able to block everything for the next 2 years at least.
Yes. Plus,
So-
we have to do something with the Supreme Court.
Right, exactly. And I
You
like
know-
the idea of a commission to, see what we want to do with it. But ultimately, I think what is going to happen is it's going to just come down to we need more justices on the court to balance it out.
That's the only way to do it at this point. I don't think there's any other way around it. Also,
Yep.
David, what do you think? North and South Dakota. There should be one Dakota. I mean, let's be real about this. Why do they get,
Been up there.
well, they get double the vote, actually. That's, they get
Yeah.
twice as many votes as California.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really weird, but North Dakotans are very proud of being North Dakotans, and South Dakotans consider them a separate species. It's really
Well-
quite interesting.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
going to say it. Screw those Dakotans. They'd be coming one Dakota if I was the king here.
I have to tell you, I heard a funny thing I saw on one of my things. There was a lady came on. There was a Trump supporter, And she said they need to elect him as a governor and they got to pick a state.
Yeah.
And he could do whatever he wanted. He could set it up and do whatever he wanted because everybody would support him and everybody that supports him could move to that state. And it was suggested while she was talking, South Dakota would be the place to go.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
okay.
And then he
I'm
can build
good.
his wall. We'll be happy if he
Yeah,
builds his wall
He
then.
could build a wall in South Dakota. Yeah.
I'm
You
good
know,
with that.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And they've never lived there in the wintertime.
No.
I mean,
No.
it's not
I was
paradise.
personally thinking Mars would be a better place for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
already red.
I don't know about Mars, but Uranus sticks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Uranus is blue.
Yeah,
Mars is
I
already
know.
red, so let's just give him
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll give him that.
About
And then
it
we
in a
get
way.
the rest of the solar system.
So
They're
today's
confined to Mars.
the MAGA Million Man March, right? There's a million people out there.
Where in DC?
Yeah, in DC.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, today's the big pro-Trump thing. And if they say a million people, that means probably about 5,000.
Yeah, if they're
Yeah.
lucky.
They have a hard time counting, but it's definitely today. And he's mad at New York now. He's not going to be sending the vaccine to New York because of Governor Cuomo. He's mad at Cuomo, so New Yorkers don't get the vaccine. Yeah, the man is just he's crazy. He's just
And speaking of that vaccine, you know how they're taking credit for the whatever it is, Operation Warp Speed? Well, Pfizer did not take any of that grant money to develop their vaccine.
no.
Nope.
They shut that down right away. They said, hey, we're going to use it to distribute free to everybody, which we'll see, but
Well,
it didn't
well,
have
now-
anything to do with development.
But now there's a little investigation on Pfizer. Do they really have a vaccine, or did they do it to sell stock this week?
Probably both.
Yeah.
Dr. Fauci said, and I trust him. Like I said, I've worked with him in the past, so I trust him a lot. He said that this vaccine appears to be 90 to 95% effective.
Really?
Yeah.
And if he's saying that publicly, then I believe it.
Yeah, I heard that too. Also, Biden's not picking him up, right?
I think, isn't he on the task force? I thought he was on the task.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be in the cabinet.
I don't know if he'll be in the cabinet. He'll probably stay where he is at NIH.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he's.
Accept.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
he's been there since 1980, I think.
yeah, he's been there for a long time.
Something like that.
Yep.
Because he was one of the first people to start working on AIDS and HIV.
Yeah, he was. Brilliant. He's a brilliant man. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And-
really is. So Albuquerque, how's the community doing?
Doing okay. Sidewinders is upset, of course, because they have to shut down again. So they were having ads this week to, or at least starting last night, to come and eat in a restaurant while you still can. Because on Monday we go to takeout again. And I understand it. I mean, I've been saying we need to do something, and I knew this was coming because we're much worse now than we were back in the spring. We're getting 400 cases a day there, and now we got 1,800 cases.
No, it's terrible.
Well, 180,000 cases across the country yesterday.
Yeah.
180,000. I think there's almost 1 million cases this week alone.
Yep. My nephew
great.
in California is in the hospital right now with COVID.
Jeez.
Andy's parents and sister had it up in Washington State. Fortunately, they had a very mild case,
Yeah.
so none of them had to go in.
Yeah, my sister had it in Florida, and I know a lot of people. A lot of my friends' elderly parents, passed away. They couldn't fight it. I know probably 4 of my friends' parents who were in retirement facilities, passed away. And how do you like this new thing now with the Secret Service? Trump single-handedly ruined our security.
Exactly. He did. His little joyride around Walter Reed when he was there with the Secret
Yeah.
Service agents in the car with him while he had active COVID. I mean,
Yeah, he became like a walking just a carrier. He single-handedly.
That's
I
right.
think if he would stay around for 4 more years, I think he single-handedly would hand our government over to the Russians. Just
I
take
agree.
it.
You
Just
know,
take
that's
it.
it. Well,
Lem-
they're saying that 130 Secret Service are in quarantine or suspected of
Yep.
having 130 Secret Service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I heard a story last night when Kennedy was the president. It was a cold night at the White House, and there was a Secret Service man standing outside. Outside it was like 15 degrees or something, some crazy number. And Kennedy walked out to him and said, "Why don't you come on inside and wait inside?" And the Secret Service man said, "I can't. I'm not allowed. I'm on duty." And Kennedy said, "I'm giving you permission. Come inside and warm up." And he said, "I'm sorry, sir, but I am not allowed. I'm here to, this is my post tonight." So Kennedy went inside and he came out with 2 cups of hot chocolate and sat outside with the guy for like an hour, just sitting there
Yeah.
talking to him, freezing his ass off too. And he said, I
Yeah.
appreciate everything you guys do for me and blah, blah, blah. Just like Trump, right?
Yeah, right.
And this story, and this
Trump's like, get
story,
in the car with me. I'm going to infect you.
yeah, get in the car with me, come into the White House. We're going to, call on each other. Let's
Yeah.
hold meetings. Yeah, that kind of thing.
You can't
So,
wear masks.
Can't wear
Can't-
masks.
No.
And these Secret Servicemen are trained to take a bullet for this guy, to throw themselves in front of any danger, and they're starting to resent that something that could have been avoided and prevented was, that Trump just, didn't care, just didn't care.
Yeah.
So
It was all
so
about him.
he may decide to stay around, and he may not want to leave the White House, but I don't think he has that many fans, in the military, in the service, in the FBI, so, he could do whatever he wants to do, but I don't think it's definitely not going to be a coup.
Well, the
It doesn't
FBI,
matter.
FBI has a plan to remove there's a name they give it, to remove people from an area. They
Yeah.
put a label on that, and they've got a plan to, snake them
It's
right
called
out.
eviction.
Yeah.
I thought,
They're just going to run his ass out.
yeah, somebody mentioned that, the MAGA rally right now is supposed to be going on, that it would be
Yeah.
kind of fun to watch Trump come out on that balcony and sing don't
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's so anyway, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting handover. But yeah,
So
so
how does that affect Albuquerque as far as our federal funding and things like that? I mean, is it, Mauro, is that going to help us a little bit to lift us up out of the dredges of the Trump era?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. They'll probably aim more medical stuff at the labs at both Sandia and Los Alamos for one.
Yeah.
And because they have in the past, and this idiot cut it all. He just wanted them to focus on nuclear weapons, and we don't really need those. We have them as a deterrent. That's all they ever should be. But hopefully they'll utilize the national labs to help out in these crises we're facing: climate change,
yeah.
food scarcity, water, all of that. That's what the national labs should be doing.
Yeah. What's everybody doing for Thanksgiving this year?
Probably just Andy and I,
Yeah.
because it's not going to get any better in the next couple of weeks.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'll probably just make us a little bitty turkey, and it'll be us. And we're trying to find a new dog. Our other dog passed away 2 weeks ago, and our little schnauzer has kind of lost. He's mostly blind and deaf, and now he just kind of wanders around looking for her and us. So we're trying to be extra affectionate to him, but hopefully by then we have another doggy for him.
Yeah.
He's a sweet puppy. He's
Dog
laying in a
Thanksgiving.
little basket right now asleep.
Oh,
Cute guy.
yeah.
That's Snuggler.
Wow.
And I got to take him outside. We would do this, and the other dog would come running. She loved those squeaky toys for some reason.
Yeah.
Just loved them. So, but it's a nice day outside. It looks like.
Oh,
Well,
look
yeah,
at that. Beautiful.
There's all
And we're
kinds of wind.
look at
There's wind advisories today. It's supposed to be
Yes,
crazy
there
windy
are.
today.
So we
Yeah.
gotta get this wedding done before it's super windy. The
Yeah.
wedding is at 11:30, so hopefully by then. And Dave, I want to show you something here.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna ask. Look at that. Here's a check-in, folks, the square footer check-in.
Square footer, and that's the Dawn redwood that's in there, and it's thriving. It's grown about like 4 inches since we put it in there.
That I just love you, Mauro. You're the only person on our original meeting at your house. We did remember the thing with the impatience?
Yep.
And
Yep.
it has to do with reducing your mood and making you feel better. You're the only person that actually kept that alive for 2 years. I
Yeah,
remember-
and then I don't know what happened to it. One day I just decided it was done and gave up. And just
Well,
went,
Yeah, you guys were okay. That's it.
I
Yep.
guess it decided we were okay.
Speaking-
It's done its thing.
Speaking of growing things, how come we didn't have legalized cannabis this year on our ballots?
Because it's really hard to get things on a New Mexico ballot.
Yeah,
They made it that way on purpose.
yeah. Do you know how many states added it this year?
Yeah, lots.
A bunch.
That would have picked up our revenue, tenfold.
Let's go, Ben. I gotta go. You gonna wear your jacket?
Right?
So we
That would-
are preparing to head out for the wedding, but we'll
Okay.
keep you on in the car while we're going.
Oh, you want to disconnect and get back on when you're situated in the car?
No, I'm on my phone, so it should be fine.
Okay,
I
cool.
know. I like the phone. I do.
Yeah.
It's
Where's
Look-
where's the wedding today?
Casa Rondenia Winery.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so it'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've invited us to stick around afterwards for some wine and cake, although we don't drink.
Uh-huh.
But might have
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
glass of champagne or something to celebrate.
Yeah, I don't drink either, but I'm thinking of starting.
Well, since the election only went half our way, it doesn't sound like a bad option, honestly.
I know.
Yeah. Like those Joe Biden sunglasses there. Those are very cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, this is the
Nice.
fashion. This is the fashion part of the program.
I'm wearing a black tie.
And what's
What I try and do is I try and match what their colors are, and they're just doing black and white. So I wore a white shirt with a black tie with little diamond specks in it. My gray suit. Don't look like there's too much. Yesterday at the wedding in Vadito, what I did was I took 3 different burgundy ties with me to see which one matched their colors the best. So when I got there, I showed them, and they said, "Yeah, that one."
wow.
So it was a lovely wedding. It was at the bride's parents' home in Vadito, so it was very nice.
Yeah, very nice. And how long does it take you to get there from where you live in?
Getting everything.
Okay, I think we're losing some vocal.
We're headed down to Casa Rondenia.
There you go.
Yeah, so Mr. David, you have a
Yes.
story, you have a little something to talk to us about today?
Well, I surely do. But are we done? Mauro's still kind of doing his thing there.
Yeah. Well, while he's getting situated in the car, why don't we do your story?
Okay, well, let me see now. You know what? It's a coyote story.
Okay.
And excuse me, because I have a lot of activity at my front door, so I'm gonna go outside again.
Uh-huh.
I love this phone technology. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Can you all imagine what, like this is Dick Tracy stuff when he used to talk on his old watch to people,
I know.
and then Mart, he would take his shoe phone.
Yeah.
I mean, those things were wonderful.
I know. Do you know what the best is? Do you remember how you can never put Dick Tracy on TV now for these kids, right? You can never get away with
Right.
it anymore. He was so, just the guys who worked with him. He had the Asian guy, Joe Jitsu, right? Then he had the Hispanic Gogo Gomez. You could never, yeah, you could, and it's really sad because I don't think that hurt. I don't think that hurt the kids' outlook on different, you know, on different people, and you know, on different, you know, it didn't hurt. That it was so much fun back then. Everybody's so worried about insulting people now.
I hate to interrupt. Can you excuse me for a minute?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, we're going to be losing David for a bit.
Letting my phone go to 5G, hopefully.
Okay, and here we go. Moro's in the car. Perfect. And David's on hold. Okay, everybody's still out there with us? Again, if anybody's any questions, feel free to hit us up on Facebook, or we're on YouTube now, so you can just put something in the comment part of the, you know, just, you know, just right in the comments. Just feel free to hit us up, and we'll be happy to get you involved in the conversation today. So, okay, everybody's ready? Moro, you good?
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good. We're in the car. We're
So-
on our way to Casa Rondina for the wedding.
Yeah, so I was actually listening to some guys on TV the other night, and they're talking about how liberals are kind of shooting themselves in the foot every chance they get. Do you find that?
I do.
I do
I
too.
do. It drives me nuts. You know, we create our own defeats half the time.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we actually we're the ones who are stopping freedom of speech now, if you think about it. We don't let if we don't agree with you, we don't let you on our college campuses, we don't let you on our TV programs. It's just gotten out of hand. We have to, you know, when I was a kid, I know when you were a kid, it might have been a little different, but there was no you didn't have to really worry about being funny. You weren't going to hurt anybody's feelings. Today, a movie like Blazing Saddles can never be made.
Right.
True.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they actually used the N-word in that movie.
Well, not just that. Yeah, it was the N-word. They made fun of everybody. They, you know,
They did.
they made fun. You know, they made fun of the community. They made fun of Jews. They made fun of Native Americans. They made fun of everybody. But
They made
But it
fun
was-
of everybody.
yeah, and it was
They
one of the
were-
greatest movies ever made.
Yeah.
You know, like
Mel Brooks
like
was an equal opportunity offender.
yeah, like at the cartoons we used to watch when we were kids. Speedy Gonzales. I mean, big
Yep.
deal. You know,
Frito Bandito.
yeah, Pepe Le Pew. You know, this was gold. You know, Go Gomez, Joe Jitsu. You know, you can't get away with it anymore.
What was the
Well-
Green Hornet sidekick's name? Ito.
Kato.
What was it?
Was it Kato?
Kato.
Kato. Yeah. It just, you know,
Yeah, Ito was in shoot, the movie with Rosalind Russell, where she played a woman who had wild, lavish parties in New York, and
okay.
shoot, what's her name? Then the kid came to live with her. What's the name? We did it. We did a doll show of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's that?
I can't think of the name.
Why? You don't think it would be produced now at a mass media level, or what?
No, it probably would be, but it's differently.
I
I mean,
hear
when they
it.
treated the women.
Yeah, I hear Andy. Hello, Andy.
Hey, what's going on?
Whoa, look at you.
Oh, I'm on video. Yeah.
You
We're
see,
going to a wedding.
you're like me. We're the eye candy in the group.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm the
Yeah.
ugly old one. He's
That's what I-
he's a pretty young one.
I always tell Laura, you know, when people ask, you know, I always introduce Laura, and I always say, yeah, and I'm the eye candy. It's, you know, it's, well,
People tell me that all the time. Andy's my eye candy. I'm like, yep,
Uh-huh.
he sure is.
and here's David. There we go. He's everybody's eye candy.
Yeah, did I see Andy there? How you
Yeah,
doing?
I don't. Maybe maybe younger generations have thinner skins than older ones, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe it's just a market production thing, you know? Who knows?
Yep. Wow. So how's the social club doing? They getting back on their feet? Everything going as planned there?
Yeah, they actually are. They're doing pretty well.
Good.
We're really happy about that. They're, you know, the landlord has worked with them a lot to alleviate the cost of rent while they can't open. Because, you know, who knows when they're going to be able to open again? It's going to be a while.
Sure. But it may
So-
work out. They could get everything in line before they get open. You know, they have time to maneuver,
Exactly.
which
I mean,
is good.
they're probably doing some stuff inside the club. You know, I mean, I think they're getting it ready to really be much more successful when it reopens, I hope.
Wow.
And they've talked a lot about no smoking, which will draw more people back, like us. You know, we
Right.
hated the smoking part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. You know, so you know, smoking is definitely a no-no these days. And
Yeah.
but you know,
Once it sticks to you, you know, you smell like smoke and you don't smoke. So
Right. Right. And when we'd go with
Yeah, I know
the leather daddies, we didn't want to be there because the leather just absorbs the smell of smoke.
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
I have to
That,
tell you,
that was always my problem with Laura. She smokes, so I'd put on my leathers and I stink like a cigarette. No, I'm just fooling.
tell you a little personal
Well, you
thing.
can't let her smoke in the dungeon. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah, well, yeah. Her cigarette smoke also stuck to my panda costume.
So I'm
Okay, you've said it. Now we have to see
Not
that.
smoking panda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
I have a little personal story about the leather thing. How you doing, Andy?
Wait a second. I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. Not too many people know this, but when I first met Laura, I was 15 years old. I was working for Screw Magazine. Do you guys remember Screw
Oh
Magazine?
yeah, I do remember Screw.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was 15. I was working for Screw Magazine in New York. That was pre fax days. They didn't have fax machines.
Oh, wow.
So my job was to pick up photos and ad copy and bring it back to the office in Manhattan. I lived on Long Island. So after school, about 3 o'clock, I'd take the train into Manhattan. And I would hang out, in the seediest places in New York, and I remember,
It was then 42nd Street.
yeah. A lot of it was down there, but I remember I was about 15 when I got the gig, and I was making real good money, and the printer was on Long Island. That's how I got the job. So I bring everything back to the island at the end of the day. But I remember I was about 15, maybe, about 15, and I remember walking down a street, and I saw this. I saw a hooker wearing like a black mini skirt and whatever. And I saw a policeman with his hand down her shirt.
Huh?
God.
And I said to myself, man, there is more to life than high school. And
There's
from that
a lot
point forward, I think I started seeing life as it really is. That nobody's completely good or completely bad,
Right.
Yeah.
We all do things that we've got in our past that we don't want to share with anybody.
Yeah, but hey, might as well share it. What the heck?
What-
People have to know. Yeah, so
So you said you have a panda costume. Does that mean you're a secret furry?
yeah, I don't know what that means. I've had it since I was 18. No, I'm just fooling.
Wow.
in my panda suit.
Andy has a monkey suit, and what's the other one? Oh, a lion.
Yeah, the
Whoa.
little onesies, you know.
Yeah, we've got the one,
Yeah.
and I've actually got Winnie the Pooh onesie. We wore it for Halloween last year.
I saw you in your Winnie the Pooh one. I saw that online.
So but there are people called furries, and they dress like animals. In the leather community, there's a giant pup community now. There's all these puppies around.
Wow.
They wear dog hoods and puppy hoods, and they have puppy mosh pits,
Wow.
and all kinds of stuff.
Well, do you remember that song? What does the fox say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the furries, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. But little kids kind of took a liking
Yeah, they
to that
latched
one.
onto it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember my grandson when he was, just an infant, used to love that tune, and yeah, yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. But everybody hides. If everything just blended together, it'd be such a perfect place to be again. There's just too many restrictions. You can't have fun anymore. You can't joke around with anybody anymore.
Ah,
It
that's
sucks.
baloney.
Well, you know what I think should happen
It
is
depends on who you're around.
the new
right?
president should be Mrs. Madrigal from Tales of the City.
Yeah.
Because, when somebody moved into her new little apartment complex, she'd tape a joint to their door. So
Uh-huh.
President Biden should send everybody in the country a joint.
Well,
And everybody would just chill.
I
Yeah,
got
we-
news
The
for
whole
you.
country would be chill.
He had the chance to do that this election. He did. He could have said, "I'm running," because let's face it, they say that whoever ran with a cannabis tolerance program and a Social Security Plus program won, if they were Democratic or Republican.
Exactly.
And it's enough already. Just it's time. Some crazy states, just Oregon, just legalized LSD.
Yeah.
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 So here in New
But
Mexico, with the
I think
election this year,
I think it's controlled, right? Isn't
Yeah.
it? Isn't it controlled with?
it will
with
be,
the
yeah.
psychologist?
Yeah. But if you're caught, I think it's a $50 fine. It's not.
Right.
It's not.
It's not bad.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No. It's like a misdemeanor now.
Okay.
So here's my prediction for January.
Portugal did it a few.
We will
There you
have
go.
two things this year. We will repeal that stupid, idiotic 1969 abortion ban here in New Mexico,
Yeah.
and we will have legalized cannabis, recreational cannabis, because of all the hard work that Planned Parenthood Votes New Mexico and other agencies did to defeat these Democrats in the Senate, so-called Democrats in the Senate, in the New Mexico Senate, who were opposed to both legalization and repealing the abortion bill.
Right.
And they were all challenged by women who were pissed off about it, and they all won.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 women won, and we kept, when the general election happened, we got enough people in the Senate to be able to pass all
Okay.
this. So I expect that we will have those two things happen in January or February, because this is a 60-day session.
I want to throw something out. We have upcoming World AIDS Day.
Yes, December 1st.
Day. Yeah. And there's a really unique opportunity. I'd like to Seed to Harvest to participate. We could put together small videos from different organizations, and we can send them by email to Truman through their contact. They're going to run a 2-hour special for AIDS Day that'll be online. And in the middle of that, they're going to put these little vignettes of different organizations that they put together. There's a bit of a rush on it. It has to be done by the 18th, of course, of this month. But
Wow.
I think it's an opportunity for us to maybe the social club could do a little vignette, about World AIDS Day. Seed to Harvest, we could do a little vignette about growing flowers and giving them out on.
Definitely.
There's a whole lot of opportunity. Another one would be like you were mentioning, Mauro, the women that were involved with changing the law, and they could put together a little vignette. All of these are appropriate, and they will put them online. So I just wanted to throw that out there. We should talk about it.
Cool.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
that'd be
The
fun.
chamber could do a video about how they can help businesses during COVID, and things like that. So yeah, it could be.
Parenthood,
Of course.
Planned
Go ahead.
Parenthood and the Transgender Resource Center, all of these little areas, that's worth checking into to see if they're involved. And I can
Definitely.
send you the email. So we just have to send it in, attached to an email to Art Salazar at Truman, and he
Okay.
will
Cool.
connect it up. Yeah.
And it's due in 4 days?
I'm sorry.
It's
what
due
was that?
November 18th. It's due
It's
November
due
18th.
18th, yes, because they have to, of course, prepare it for the actual celebration or the actual day of the event.
Right. Right.
I want to throw a shout out too to Truman because they're doing some remarkable things with technology. They're hooking up the Zoom and the in-person meetings. They're putting out
Yep.
lots of information that's in all the different social media platforms. They've got some
Yeah.
really talented young people that are working in that venue, and I think it's remarkable what they are doing. They're moving one step ahead instead of retreating from the whole COVID thing. They're moving one step ahead. They're realizing
Yes,
that
they are.
we need to be involved. And I just wanted to throw that out there that anybody that wants to put together a video, that they will be happy to put it on their page, on their whatever they're doing. And that'll be a 2-hour segment starting, I think, in the afternoon. So we could light a candle, we could photograph that, we could post it. I mean, there's a lot of really cool things to do. So, because there's gonna be no gathering for that, as we know.
Do you have any information by email, David, or how we can do this?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you know what I'll do, Mauro? I will go ahead and type it out and send it to you by email. I think it's a better way
Okay,
to go.
perfect.
And I'll attach
Yeah,
his
thank you
email.
so much.
Perfect.
I'll give you the parameters that he discussed. This came out at a meeting yesterday with the
Uh-huh.
CP unit. And I think it's really cool because I want to throw something else out too. There's a Google link for putting together, I guess you'd call them non-person party
You
events.
know, right?
I don't know how to
Okay.
describe it, but where you can go on Google and you can plan a party and you can do it all through social media and you can broadcast it out if you want to celebrate, like for instance, on your weddings. I thought about you guys. You could have a little party in this Google app, and that party is all online, and you could have a theme involved with it. You could set it up. Wow, you're just drinking that down there.
I got to. I have to
I'm
speak for
sorry.
20 minutes. I've got to.
But I'll send that.
Don't worry, it's not vodka. It's like Gatorade.
Yeah. I'll send that information out because I think it's important. And that also came from CPAG. There's a wonderful contact that would probably help people with that through First Nations health source. And they're doing remarkable things that kind of fill in. So,
Okay, so
Excellent.
Mauro, are we gonna be losing you now?
Yes, we just arrived at the beautiful Casa Rondeña. If you've never been here, it's really a beautiful place.
oh yeah.
There's all the
Yeah.
grapevines. I mean, it looks like you stepped into Tuscany, actually. It's really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
We absolutely love it. It is pretty breezy out here, so we're going to see what happens with the wedding.
Okay, my
But gentlemen,
friends.
I will say goodbye to you
Yeah,
and have a great week. And David, please send me that information. We'll get it out there.
I
and
will.
yeah.
Man.
Okay. Have a great week, gentlemen. And
Okay,
everybody else.
okay. Say hi, say bye to Andy for me. Give him a little hug for
Sure
me,
will.
and I'll talk.
Andy looked pretty
Okay.
spectacular, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got to put my my jacket on and everything.
And
Go
your
ahead.
mask, man. Put on your mask.
Got it here.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll put it on.
okay, guys, be safe. Talk to you later.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Okay, it's me and you, David. So, David, go tell your story now.
Okay. Well, this is my story. You know, it used to be a long time ago that we had various ways to feed ourselves. And one of the ways that has always happened was that you'd go outside of the village or the place where you live and you'd find a small little manzanita stump and you would just put it in a bag and bring it back to the village. And when you open the bag up, it was full like a cornucopia of all sorts of food and everything you needed to eat. Well, of course, we know Coyote, you know, the guy is just a problem and he always wants to be involved and it's always for himself. And so what Coyote did is he watched this happen And he sat around and he participated, but he watched it happen. And he kept yelling at people, I want that much and I want that piece. And people just ignored him. So what he got to do was he kind of isolated himself from the group, and he told them, I can do this anyway because none of you support me. So I'm going to support myself. So Coyote said, okay, I'm going to take a trip. He walks out of that area with a great big burlap bag, the biggest one he could find. And he walks out there and he walks and walks and walks and gets hungrier and thirstier the whole time. The guy's kind of skinny anyway, because people don't like to share with him because he's got a loud voice and he's never thankful. But he went ahead and kept walking. And when he found this humongous manzanita stump, he took this stump and he shoved it in the bag. He pulled it out of the ground. He wrestled with it. He stuck it inside the bag. He put it over his shoulder, and he couldn't even put it on his shoulder. He had to drag it. Well, now we know he went a long way from where he lived. So that was a big trek back, dragging this bag, this burlap bag. So as he's going along, he's thinking, I know when I open that bag, I'm going to have stuff to eat, and I'm just getting famished. But he kept on going. He kept on pulling that. He kept on sweating. He forgot to bring any snacks. He didn't bring any water. He wasn't prepared for what was going on. He pulls that burlap bag and he pulls it and he pulls it, and he gets about, not too far away from where he lived. And you know what happened was he realized he didn't want to share it because he had more food than he needed, but he could keep it himself. So in his loud voice, he said to himself, I will keep this for myself because I am the most important around here. And he
Right.
turned around and opened the burlap bag, and it was nothing but a manzanita stump. And to this day, we can no longer get food from the manzanita stump. And that's my story.
Wow, great story. Wow.
Yeah. It's as you know, coyote stories are fantastic because
Yes.
they kind of search us. And I'm just going to throw out, basically I tell coyote stories when I'm looking around at my environment and I realize it's trying to trick me, I
Yeah.
mean, people are saying stuff, they're trying to trick you, they're trying to take advantage of what you're doing. No, we
Yeah.
don't do that. We share knowledge. That's the power. We share each other. That's the power.
Right.
We include people in our decisions. That's our power.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hold on. I got to pay some bills here. So let me get some sponsorship stuff played, and me and you will be back in a minute or two. Okay.
Okay.
Radio Network worldwide. More of your favorite.
Not Your Mother's Radio is proud to have Rebecca Alper and Farmers Insurance as a sponsor. For nearly a decade, Rebecca has been offering protection for you, your home, auto,
Can you hear me, Dave?
RVs, and those outdoor toys that we have been enjoying during this pandemic. Do you need
You can hear me,
a
right?
car with
Okay.
better discounts?
Hear you.
Call
Yes.
Rebecca. She will know exactly what you will need. She has the coverage
Yeah,
for your
well,
four-wheelers, bikes, and boats.
I'm gonna let you go in about
Own your
5
home?
minutes. Wait, hold on.
The discounts keep adding up.
No problem.
Renting? No problem. Rebecca has got you covered.
Try to get done early today.
Got kids?
Rebecca's
Rebecca and Farmers Insurance offers life policies that double as savings accounts for their future. Want to cover your business, including workers' comp? She's an expert on business insurance. Rebecca is so excited to have her own agency with Farmers Insurance. Call or text for a free quote or coverage review, 505-358-6912, or email ralper@farmersagent.com. That's 505-358-6912.
More of your favorites are right here. Right here. At the TTT Radio Network worldwide.
Not Your Mother's Radio is listener funded. If you wish to assist and help keep the station active, funds can be sent via PayPal to Elliot. Is not your mother at gmail.com. Remember, there is only one L and one T in Elliot. Thank you for your assistance. It is appreciated.
At Arcoiris Weddings, we work with you for your dream wedding and personalize it just for you. We officiate all kinds of weddings, including special requests such as theme weddings or sand ceremonies. At Arcoiris, we get to know you and see how you two as a couple interact. We hear your story, how you met, how long you've been together, why you decided to get married, and also what your desires are for your special ceremony. We can plan years in advance or have as little as 2 hours notice for a wedding. We can do full weddings or simple elopements. And we are bilingual. Your wedding can be in English, Spanish, or a combination of the two. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we ask that you keep your guest list limited to no more than 6 people for safety reasons. We are open to having guests via Zoom or other hosting platforms so those that could not be at your wedding can still see it. We can also accommodate outside of normal business hour requests for this, such as mornings or evening. If you planned a big wedding and had to change to a smaller and decide to hold the large wedding once we are able to again, you will receive a discount for your big wedding because you are not just a client. You are giving us the honor of sharing one of life's most important days, your wedding day. Contact Reverend Morrow at 505-917-8308 or at reverendmorrow@gmail.com.
Okay, we're going, Dave.
See our website at https://reverendmorrow.wixsite.com/Arcoiris Weddings or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And congratulations on your big day.
Okay, we're back. We're back. Hey, Dave, you still with me, right?
I'm still with you, man. Always with you, Elliot.
Okay, so let's get you fixed up here. And so what else? What are you up to this week? Anything in particular? Anything interesting?
Well, I'm going to push on this video thing for the World AIDS Day. I think it's a real positive move.
Uh-huh.
You know, we have to respect the order to not gather. I mean, you know, we're in a crisis situation,
Oh, yeah.
and they're stepping forth and saying, you know what, we can't forget the most important parts of our lives.
Sure.
Many people lost people and loved ones and still do, and it really fits with the whole COVID motif that
Right.
still involved with a type of thing that, you know, people are,
Right.
they don't know what to do about stuff. Well, we can do stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm going to push it. And I want to tell you, Elliot, that maybe you could help a little bit on this, because I'd like to do a little video from seed to harvest. And,
Uh-huh.
you know, we're unique, as you know.
Yeah.
We give everything we have, everything we receive. And right now, the gifting is way down because, of course, COVID. We're not allowed to really have any events.
Right.
And I'm not a pusher. I don't go out there and shake hands and say, I love you, give me $5. That doesn't work for me.
Right.
I just want people to know that everything that comes to us goes directly out to the community and help people with their lives, helps people tell their stories. And
Uh-huh.
it's just taken off. You know, it's a flame that's strong. So that's what I'm going to be doing this week, is kind of cementing that relationship.
Well, okay. Well, why don't you contact me later in the day and we maybe get some ideas together. And I'm going to just get to our format for the rest of the day. And I'll be offline in a little under an hour. So you're going to get back to me. Let's talk and see what we could come up with. I have another show tomorrow night. I have another show Monday night. So we have time to do some things. And, you know, make sure you give me a buzz, okay?
Yeah, and I want to tell you, I always respect what you do, Elliot. It's mind-blowing to me that these people you bring on and we interview, you know, I mean, it's amazing. You know, we talked about this a little bit about, quite a few sessions back, about the music and
Yeah.
how it's all around the world, but there's that lag time.
Right.
And, you know, that time that when somebody's playing in Costa Rica and also New York, it's hard to match those together because of the natural lag time. And yet these, what I'm listening to now, the world music, is incredible. The instruments all over the world. I mean, my goodness, they're doing it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and my Sunday and Monday shows, and also the podcast station, as you know, we get a lot of different characters, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Um, we do. We get, we're getting some really, really great guests. In fact, the great producer Bill Laswell, who was involved in Herbie Hancock's big hit Rocket. He wrote it, he produced it, as well as working with Mick Jagger and tons and tons of reggae artists. And he must have 1,000 albums out. Um, Bill and I are going to be doing a bi-weekly radio show on Monday nights.
Nice.
Yeah, so Bill is jumping aboard, and I'm really, really thankful that he has enough faith in me to know that I'm not going to mess up his music.
Well,
And yeah. So
it's not messing up. It's mistakes is how you learn.
yeah, no, not just that. Just the fact that a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about, it'll be new releases that aren't out yet. He'll be doing
Ah,
some promotions with me. I'm going to be doing some promotions with Gem Records coming up, a great independent label, as well as I have some great guests coming on. Talking about world music. Jonas Hellborg is going to be on with me next week, I believe. I think it's next week. And Jonas is in Sweden, and I have spoke to tons of guys out of Jamaica. Oz Fritz will be on this week, as well as I spoke to Pete Escovedo yesterday, so that'll be up on the podcast station during the week. Pete used to be in a band called Azteca, and
oh,
I don't know if you heard of them, but Pete and his brother Coke Escovedo were in the Santana band, and Pete's daughter is Sheila E.
wow.
The great percussionist, and Pete's a great percussionist. Coke was a great percussionist. So yeah, we're doing our bit. We're getting everybody in from all from different sectors of the world out there. Some other guys that are coming in are Lee Oscar from the band War, the great harmonica player.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke to Lee yesterday. He'll be doing a live set with me in a week or two. And Lee's, from Sweden. He's been in War from day one. And I was telling him when I was talking to him yesterday, I was telling him a story there when I was about 14, 15. I saw him perform at Madison Square Garden with Eric Burden from the Animals. Is Eric, remember Spill the
Yeah.
Wine in those
Wow.
days? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So I know Lee, for a while now, but I reminded him the first time I saw him, I was like 14, maybe 15, and we're both a lot older now. That's 50 years ago, and and it's funny because we kind of grew up together. Not hand in hand, but he went his way. I did my thing, and here we are, 50 years later, and we're kind of intertwined again, which is pretty cool. And so yeah,
I,
I mean,
I
music's a great
say
bond.
that what's most amazing to me, Elliot, is that back in my youth when I was involved with everything you talk about, I
Yeah,
forgot everything. I just
yeah,
moved on with life, did the whole thing, and now I'm reconnecting through the efforts that you're putting out to bring these people back into my life. And it's amazing how it's lifted me up and
yeah,
really, we were okay then, man. We knew what was up. And I wanted to throw
yeah.
something out. Artie, I had the pleasure of being on that little call with Artie.
My
And
buddy Artie Kornfeld. Yeah.
yeah, Artie. And if you get tired of him calling you early in the morning, you could have him call me. I'll get to know,
Okay.
because
Ar-
really that was remarkable. And I would
yeah.
love to connect with that.
Well,
So,
I think me and Artie are going to be doing another show this Tuesday. I'll let
oh,
you know.
Artie. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Send me the
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to get Artie to do a bi-weekly thing with me too in the morning, on Tuesday morning. So, he called me about 6:30 this morning.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I was
but
saying. I mean, I'm
but
I'm out, so he can call me anytime, and I'll just relay the message.
Yeah, I'll tell him that. He's a character. He's the great Artie Kornfeld, the producer of Woodstock, and he wrote great tunes like "The Rain, the Park," and other things that the
Yeah,
Cal Souls covered. He wrote that tune, "The Pied Piper."
yeah, that's what
Um,
you mean, right?
yeah. He was the first person that ever had the title Vice President of Rock and Roll Music
Uh,
on any of the major record companies. Yeah. But
amazing.
Lee Oscar is the great harmonica player. And Dave, stick around with me. I'm going to play a tune now that Lee's on. I'm sure you know this. I'm sure you know this tune. So just sit tight with me, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. This one's War, and the great Lee Oscar on harmonica. You know that tune, right?
Absolutely. Do I know that too? Say it.
Yeah. Here's Lee.
The low rider is a little higher.
Yeah. So Lee's going to be on. Let me get the date. This month, November 29th at 8 o'clock our time. I'll be
Nice.
on with Lee. Yeah. Last week I was on with Sly and the Family Stones drummer Greg Rico. Great drummer.
Yeah.
So yeah, the weekend shows are real interesting. You ought to try to check them out. They start at 8 o'clock Sunday and Monday. I do them, and I really great characters on some really great people.
So I have to ask, can I go on and just like I do, just hit
TT
and you're just,
TTT.
you know,
Yeah,
I
yeah. It's
go
a
to the
T,
page and then I
yeah,
hit
TT. Yeah,
at the bottom
it's
and
yep.
that's
Same
all I have.
way. Same
Okay.
way.
All right. Yeah,
Great
because
guys. In fact, Sunday night, this Sunday, tomorrow, Phil Jones is on. Tom Petty's drummer.
my goodness.
Yeah, he'll be on with me tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm digging deep. I'm pulling out some. I pulled out my old Rolodex.
My gosh, that's right. Well, we're not on the air right now, right?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, when I sent you that little bit of music on the
Yeah.
messenger, the people that I would love to hear from are the people that are in those other countries that are playing those instruments.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're
Well,
incredible.
that's what Bill Laswell does. Bill Laswell does world music.
Yeah,
And we'll
because
yeah.
I think they would be happy to talk to us. I really do.
Yeah. Bill does world music. That's his major thing. Okay, we got 30 seconds.
Take a little trip with me.
I know. It's just like, this is so appropriate right now, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
seriously.
Okay, wait. I'm going live.
Okay.
Okay, my friends, and that was the Great War. And if you guys have been following the show, Harold Brown's been on with me. He's the drummer from War. Howard's going to be on. Howard's the lead singer. And Lee Oscar's going to be on, I think, in 2 weeks, the 29th of November. And the three of them are going to be on together. We're getting a round table with the old War band.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so a lot's happening, guys. So you guys have to check out the podcast channel, which you can find on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And it's not your mother's radio. Some great people are there. Especially if you're into world music. I have most of the Santana band up there. The great Carl Perazzo's been on with us. Tony Lindsay, just some great people. Michael Shreve. Greg Ricos was on with us last week. His podcast will be up sometime this week. And, Greg was the great drummer in Sly and the Family Stone. The guys who brought you, Want to Take You Higher and Stand and all that neat stuff from the day. And these guys are great. They're still out there. They're still out there working. They're still, as viable as they were in the 60s. In fact, some of them are even more powerful now than they were back then. They're still
I-
great players. Yeah, and I'm lucky enough to be able to, get them on with us so we could listen to them.
you
Um,
know, I think we were speaking about that earlier in the show that,
yeah,
elder people are very valuable. I mean, we just didn't sideline ourselves. We get a little slower, a little tired, but my gosh, everything that those guys are doing is so appropriate for right now.
yeah,
we
and
need-
what happens for some reason musicians don't get older. I don't know how it is.
I don't know. I'm the same guy. I'm the
Yeah,
same guy.
yeah, me too. And the same, the way they played back then. When I talk to these guys on air, I picture them from, like it was like I'm back in 1969. It
Yeah,
brings you
exactly.
back to it. It brings you back to a time. It brings you back to a place, and it's just great. It's just and we're lucky enough to still have these guys that we can talk to, and reach out and ask questions to, and relate to, and everything else. And I'll give you guys a quick a little secret that nobody knows yet, but the great Ian Underwood is going to be back on the radio with me. Ian was on about a month or two ago. If you guys know Ian, he started out in The Mothers of Invention with Frank Zappa, but he's doing some of the biggest soundtracks now. He was on the Titanic soundtrack, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Close Encounters?
Yeah,
Do you remember
yeah,
that? Dan, 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 dan.
yeah.
That's Ian. Ian played that, in the movie. He's doing some great soundtrack work now. He's probably more in demand now than he was ever when he was working with Frank Zappa. So Ian's a friend of the show. He doesn't really talk to anybody, but he
I
agreed to
don't
he agreed to a one-on-one with me as long as I behave myself. He's a very
Yeah,
reserved guy, very nice man. So Ian will be back with me. Yeah,
well,
so
that to me, what's most interesting are the stories. And I know when you and I
yes,
started getting together and doing these little spots,
right,
that I mentioned that in my first introduction, that I
yeah,
like stories of people, and they've got a story to tell that is so appropriate
yes,
and, and matches. It wasn't back in history. We're going to forget about it. No,
right,
it's like happening right now. It's
right.
very important that we keep that up.
Yeah, and a lot of the stories these guys are telling are from half a century ago.
I know. 50 years. Can you
It's,
imagine? I mean,
it's scary.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they're 50 years. I was thinking the other day, I was listening to one of the broadcasts that you were doing, and I forget which one, but I tune in every now and again.
Yeah.
And I suddenly remembered this photograph from a Polaroid of when I asked my wife to marry me,
Wow.
Fort Bragg, California, and here's this young guy, and I'd have that in my head. Of course, here's this young guy with a red beard, and
Uh-huh.
still had the ponytail, and in an old Ford Falcon, sitting there out there on the overlooking the beach, and that song just clicked that right off, and that
Right.
was a whole life that I lived.
Yeah, I think music brings you back to a space and time that like nothing else,
Nothing else. It's
right?
programmed in us. It really is.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they
A-
used to say that Mozart,
Yep.
had music in his genes.
Yeah.
That he just music
Yep. Yep.
constant.
And it's funny because my life does revolve around music. It really does. And I have a great family and everything else, but if it wasn't for the music, I think I would have gone mad years ago. Only, it's the one thing that keeps me centered.
That's right.
And yeah, it kind of kept me of, just being able to do what I have to do every day. I have like a soundtrack that I go through every day. Just there's always something bouncing around in my head. Um, there was this guy that I met um, about a month ago, but I was listening to. He had a single out back in the early '70s, and he went to work for a great artist that I always admired, Brian Eno, and this guy's name is Philip Rambeau, and I actually spoke to Phil about a week ago. We became close friends. We speak like almost every other day now. And I'm going to play a tune by him now. It's called Fallen. And he wrote this song. You know, this song was out about 50 years ago. He's still writing, he's still out there. He became a private investigator for about 20, 30 years in between, but he's back to performing again. This one is called Fallen, and tell me it's not one of the greatest songs you ever heard. And this song is, again, it's Philip Rambo, and I think you really like it. Here we go. We're off.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm, since you're part of our board,
Yeah.
for Seed to Harvest, I'm a little concerned because, it's very difficult for me to keep this thing moving on. And, I've been putting my own resources into it, and, those are getting more limited all the time. And
Sure.
we just need to get some money in that account because, we've got to
Yeah.
start getting things out again. And we're coming up on, I've got a few little pine trees left, and we could do some Christmas gifting, and there's a lot. Oh, and by the way, speaking of that, what about the coming up this in December, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a solution to my transportation problem. If somebody will bring the stuff, we can take the train. Because I have to come back
Right.
that day. And my idea, Elliot, is that we promote the square footer, and people can purchase, they can give money, and they give one away, of course, so they get two for one. But I'm thinking we could have a couple of up for display and a description of the program. And if anybody's interested, I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, are we closed down, or what's the deal with that? I mean,
We closed down with what?
well, because of the COVID, is it?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure, because I need to put it. The reason I mention it now is because I need to build this stuff.
Sure.
That's the important part. I need to build it and
Well,
have it ready to go.
What the best thing I suggest you do is get it down on paper and email it to me. If I
Okay.
see it, if I see it in front of me, I tend to remember to work on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I'll see what I could come up with because yeah, I
Yeah,
have to
'cause
work on it.
we need that web page up. There's a lot of stuff we
Do
can
you
do.
do you have a mailing list?
I do.
Okay,
Yeah, I have a mailing list, and I'd like to extend it, of course.
sure.
But everybody, it's kind of disjointed. I mean, it's just me that
Yeah.
does stuff, and you know how it is, Elliot. I've got a head that works in a different realm. You like music. I'm into trees, and
Right.
trees don't talk much. So
No.
right.
So anyway, this is what I suggest we do. Get it down on paper and we'll
Something else. I put a proposal, Seed to Harvest Australia.